Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome everybody into the Hump Day Hotline, a special bye-week edition of the Hump Day Hotline here on the Overreaction Sports Network, powered by Believe. My name is Joe Miller. That right there is my good friend Jay Spence, the King, and we are so excited that you guys are joining us. Please do us a favor. Please hump that like, jump on that like button. Help us get our metrics up. Let us know that you are enjoying the content. You do that by interacting, and one of those interactions is humping the like button. Also, subscribe if you are watching us on YouTube right now, or if you're listening to us in podcast form. Please do us a favor. Please subscribe. Leave us a comment. We do respond to the comments after the show on YouTube specifically. So if you're catching this on whatever, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or just a different day, then after it being live and you leave a comment, or if you have a question, we will respond to that. But it is so good to have every single one of you joining us right now. We appreciate it. As always, my man, Jay Spence, the King, the Buffalo Bills are 9-2. They are not tied for the first seed, but they're a half game back, which is amazing. We did not win our Super Bowl, but they did stack a win on Sunday, and they beat the Chiefs. I would say they were in control of that football game. I said on the aftermath, even though it was like 7-6 and then 14-13, there was never a point in that game where it was out of their control. Agree?
Yeah, I mean, even when Josh threw the interception, I wasn't like, "Oh my God, it's the end of the game." It was one of those things like, all right, let's see what we do. It was a weird calmness about about this game for me, which normally against the Chiefs is not the case. Like,
Right.
against the Chiefs, I'm running around the house, there's something going crazy. So yeah, no, but you know what? One of the things that impressed me about it was that I feel like, even though I feel like it's a newer team. Obviously, it's a younger team. We lost 7 starters and other members of depth elsewhere, right?
And there's injuries, right? So even the guys they brought in that were playing in the beginning of the season, Smoot and Dwayne Carter, are injured, right? So
with that being, it's like, to me, it's like half a new team almost.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys were calm, like they've been there before, like they knew the experience. And I think that speaks volumes of what Josh Allen is doing this year. Like, he's just kind of raising everybody around him. And, I just think if there's any game of the season to show it, I think this one against the Chiefs shows it.
And that was what we kind of asked for going into the season, right? That was one of the questions that I had before the season began was, is Josh Allen one of those guys? Is he? And it's funny because I put it out there. I can't remember. I think there was a reel that Trish may have posted when I said it, because when you look at Tom Brady and you look at, just different quarterbacks, they raise the level of play. And there's always the contrarian. Oh, but, Manning had Marvin Harrison. And it's like, I know that Manning had Marvin Harrison, and like some of these quarterbacks had a good dude, but there was a time when they didn't have them, and they would raise the level of the guys around them. Like when you think of what Aaron Rodgers had done in Green Bay with his tight ends. How many tight ends did Aaron Rodgers make that when they left Green Bay vanished? They were just gone. Like Robert Tonyan. Remember that name?
I do. 1 year in fantasy, he won me in my league. Like he was like a great pickup. And then, you pick him up elsewhere around the league, and he's like, yeah, no, I'm not even on the practice squad anymore. It's like, but you could say the same about Brady in a way. I know people talk about Edelman and they talk about Welker in certain ways, but Welker wasn't quite Welker until those Patriot days. And
he was a punt returner in Miami. That was what he was, right?
So I think this is when you start to say, okay, this is the window for Josh. And I know we talked about the window before because of Stephon Diggs and the other talent that we would put around Josh, where you felt like on paper, okay, this team has the talent to do it. I think now we're entering into that space where, obviously, I don't want to speak too soon because we got to win one, but you're entering into that space where it's like, oh no, when you got that guy playing quarterback for you, you really got a chance to win it every year. But again, I don't want to speak too soon in saying it with that much confidence, but he's starting to look like that. Like to do that against the Chiefs with the roster that we have, being out Kincaid, out Coleman, out Spencer Brown. Like, that's big time. Like, to do what they did is big time, man.
It's interesting. Two things that stick out to me about that football game as we kind of not put that game to bed, but put that game to bed essentially.
Yeah.
One is how much different the defense looked with Terrell Bernard. If you remember, Terrell Bernard did not play in that playoff game.
Yeah.
And Terrell Bernard, wow. I don't know how to say it any other way. I mean, we knew last year he was good when he came in and started making splash plays, and it was like an immediate impact. And I know your love for Tremaine. I'm not saying anything negative about Tremaine. There's just a different confidence. There's a different leadership level on the field. Like there was the one play where he turned around that they scored the touchdown. Was it Noah Gray scored the touchdown, and like he turned around and is barking at Taron Johnson because effectively he knew what was about to happen, and Taron, I think he was late to the play or something like that, and Taron didn't. That's the other thing too, is there's like they can have disagreements on the field when the leader is telling them whatever and nobody's angry. Nobody's like, don't you get him out? You know what I mean? It's just the command he has of the defense. It's pretty incredible. Just that. And then I feel like
Joe.
What?
No, you're gonna make me say good things about McDermott. I feel it. Like I feel it, and
that's not where I'm going.
No, you're not going there. But like, when I agree with you, I'm gonna bring up points because the things that you're talking about, that's the character. Like that's the character of Sean McDermott, and your team looks like your coach. And so, like, I was, and again, I've been walking back on my statement all year now because I'm saying like, okay, he shut me up. We're 9-2, we're 8-2, we're 7-2. So I'm walking it back, and he's doing a hell of a job. But what you're talking about, that's Sean McDermott. Like that's what he brings to a team when he's the head coach. And no, man, it's been great to watch. And again, I feel I'm so, I got to walk it back again. I feel so dumb for even wanting this guy gone at the beginning of the year because of a Texans game.
Yes. The other thing that stuck out to me is I said this on the aftermath as well, is it feels like there is still they haven't reached the ceiling yet with the offense. I said it the way that I said it was, this run offense, this ground game is dependable, it's reliable, you can lean on it, they can be dominant. Obviously, the Chiefs' defense and their defensive line, they're one of the best, if not the best team against the run in football. And when they encountered it, they turned on the Josh Allen leg effect, which we haven't seen really since even last year. I mean, he rushed, I think it was 12 times. I don't remember exactly how many yards it was, 59 or 60 yards he had rushing. But I feel like even from a passer standpoint, I still feel like there's some opportunity for him to settle into this offense and begin to understand, which I talked to myself on Monday about this.
To yourself?
Yeah, on the aftermath. Like Josh Allen, 2020, 2021, I don't remember what his numbers were in 19 or necessarily 23, but he was, I think 23, they were about the same, 4,500, 4,800, almost 5,000 yards, right? And everybody's like, oh, but he doesn't have yak. Got to get yak. Like, it's got to be, we're the worst yak team in football. No yak this and yak that. And then all of a sudden they start to like change the offense to provide him with receivers and routes that give him yak capability. And it feels like it just has changed the way that he's playing the position. Like, I feel like pundits, experts, talking heads felt like Josh Allen could have 4,500 yards a season, 4,800 yards, and all those, like another 1,000 or 1,700 in yak yards if we could just get some yak guys in here. I'm not sure the two can coexist. I think he's either hair on fire, throwing intermediate balls 20 yards downfield, painting people with the football in windows that flash, or he's playing this system where it's more of not a slow paced, but more of a take what the defense gives you, find the easy throw, and let the guy run away. Does that make sense? Like it
makes sense. I just think that's a product of
with a strong ground game, because they're obviously throwing the ball about 20% less than they have.
But I just think that's a product of the team that we have. You know what I mean? Like if we would have had, let's say the Devontae Adams thing would have been Buffalo instead of the Jets. You know what I mean? Or let's say
Devontae Adams wishes that would have happened too.
Oh, I'm sure he wishes that would have happened.
He was on Up and Adams today and was just like, I've never wanted a bye week to come so much in my entire life. Like, been there for a month. She said it. She's like, you've been there for a month, bro. Like,
yo, it's terrible. It's terrible out there. We didn't even talk about them firing the GM and all that. But the point is, I think if so, for instance, say next year in the draft, the Bills say, you know what, man, we're ahead of schedule. Let's go get another wide receiver. Like, let's get a guy. And say you go they get a guy that can stretch the field like that and that can take the top off. And I think that you see a combination of that, because what I'm seeing now is what we talked about earlier. Josh is now saying, you know what? I'm going to pick and choose here. I'm going to take what you're giving me. I'm not going to force it. But then I packed that thing. You know what I mean? Like, so when it's time to get it down the field and I see my guy open, I'm gonna get it. But then it's very like, also this season, again, it's a product of the team that we put together. I think you're still seeing the plays on the stat sheet, but it's different. So instead of it being a 17-yard pickup because Josh threw it 17 yards to Diggs and he falls down, it's 17 yards because he throws it to Shakir for 5 and then he picks up another 12. It's just a different way that we're getting it. Either way,
you
know what I mean? Like, are you mad? I'm having fun watching it. It's so much fun to watch.
I'm not mad. I just miss it. Is it wrong? I would love to see 2020 Josh Allen in this run game. I mean, who's stopping that? And I know that we don't have the same wide receiver group, right? I know that the wide receiver group is different, but I feel like they've got some surprising pieces that are beginning to emerge at the wide receiver level, right? So, I mean, if we go back 4 weeks, dude, 4 weeks, Curtis Samuel was AWOL. They couldn't find the football. We were maybe 5 weeks. Keon Coleman was still kind of a struggling rookie, right? He had a couple flash moments, but it wasn't necessarily what it was. Amari Cooper had just shown up, or maybe he wasn't here yet. Khalil was Khalil. Like, there was a great Matt Collins, for whatever reason. Josh was forcing the ball to Matt Collins with Matt Collins covered or like double covered, and it wasn't working. And it just feels like it's all beginning to come together, which is, I think, where I was going with that. But I would love to see 2020 Josh with this ground game. You're scoring 50 points a week on people, I think. But that's, I mean, you never know. Maybe not.
I agree from that aspect, but then it's like, then I take a step back and I'm like, look, this is how Tom Brady won most of his Super Bowls.
100%.
He didn't win them. I get it. He made one with Moss where he was throwing it down the field, and Moss has 3 touchdowns and a half.
Randy's out there somewhere. The George Pickens, the Russell Wilson, George Pickens model. George is out there somewhere.
Out there. But when you look at it, to me, this is what successful teams do. And then you have the ability, when you have to turn that on, when you have to go out there and go toe-to-toe with the big boys and let the fireworks go, you can do that. But this is how you win championships. You play good defense, and you have methodical drives where you run the clock out. Like, we won the time of possession, I think, by like 9 minutes or 8 minutes this last game. Like, that's insane against the Chiefs. The Chiefs always win the time of possession, like against everybody. I don't know. I understand. I missed the firework play. I miss seeing Stephon Diggs do certain things, but man, it's so much fun. And then here's the thing: because we're not turning the ball over so much, we're blowing teams. Like, we're winning by 15 to 20 points almost every week.
Yep.
And so the thing is, where we used to have those 1 or 2 extra turnovers per game. So instead of winning by the 10 to 15 points, now you're winning by 6. It's a different ball game. And at the end of the game, it's a different. I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it too. And I feel like I said this on Monday too. I feel like there's some hesitancy in Josh's game because he doesn't want to make the mistake. You can be number 2 quarterback in the league or number 1B and be told that you're a turnover machine enough times that it creeps into your mentality and into your psyche. And I'm not saying that he runs around with this moniker that he feels like he's a turnover machine, but it just feels like he's being cautious when maybe 2020-21 he was just letting it rip, right? And even obviously almost to a fault 2023 and at some other points. Whatever, we can move on from this. These are opening conversations that are just fun conversations as 2 buds just talk football, right? So,
well, because it's great, because you're right. There are things about that 2020 team. It's just like, man, it's fun to go out there and watch them go week after week after week, just like pedal to the metal. Like, it's fun.
You can pick them out. Think about the Chargers game, right? The 2020 COVID year, the Chargers game, specifically that fourth or 3rd and 22 or 4th and 22, and he drops back. And when he winds up, and I've said this to you before, as soon as back then when he wound up, and if it was 4th and really long, there was somebody there that he was about to paint with the football. Sure enough, Cole Beasley standing like between 3 guys, bang, the football hits him. And it's just like, what is happening? Who is this
And it was
guy?
consistent. It was like it happened
All the
every
time.
time. So yeah, no, I'm with you.
The 49ers game when Robert Saleh called him just another version of Cam Newton when he throws the ball over, was it Fred Warner's like outstretched arm? He just like
right in the bucket.
Right in the bucket. I mean, the Raiders game, whatever that was, 20, I think it was 2020 as well. The Raiders game when like Beasley did the twirl into the end zone. There's just it was something to behold. And I'm reminiscent, and you go back and watch a lot of those old games. I don't, because my cable box has been replaced a couple times since then, so all my recorded games are gone. But anyways, speaking of Josh Allen, as we move on from this topic, and this is a fun topic to open up with, especially in a bye week, Josh Allen surpassed O.J. Simpson to take the second place on the Bills' all-time rushing TD list. I believe that was talked about on the broadcast. If not, I know it was talked about afterwards on different shows. He's also second behind only Jim Kelly in passing touchdowns. The man is a monster, and he's a little bit of a menace when it comes to that type of stuff. But the question that needs to be posed, and I was thinking about this as well, as much as you brought this topic up, I was thinking about this week too. Is he right now already the greatest Buffalo Bill ever?
And I know what Andre Reed and those guys said. He said it last week or 2 weeks ago. Josh got to at least make it to a Super Bowl before we talk about that. And it's like, why? And without asking this in a disrespectful manner, look at what I don't know what the winning percentage is for, I have to go and look it up. But I mean, like what these guys are doing. And I understand in the 90s, that was pretty darn impressive. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that like Jim but when you talk about and I get that offense is different. The league is different. It's a passing NFL league at this point. Back then, Thurman was, I get it.
It's actually reverting to not be. I mean, it's reverting back to a 50-50 league. That's where the Bills pretty much are. Right?
Well,
so
he's to be what he is on both sides of that coin.
Right.
It's just very difficult for me because, again, obviously he won't have the yards that Thurman had, but rushing touchdowns, are you kidding me? Like are you kidding me? Like behind Thurman Thomas, and then passing touchdowns behind the guy doesn't turn it. I think he has 3 turnovers for his career in the red zone. He doesn't turn it over.
There was a long stretch of his career where he didn't have one, and then all of a sudden he got 3, right?
But it's like, so you take that, and however you want to take it, you want to put it at the end, or you want to stretch them out. The thing is, the ratio is like 50. It's like 55-3 or something crazy that.
It's crazy.
Like that's insane. So no, man, Josh.
I feel like it's a faulted argument, not a faulted argument on your part or my part. I feel like it's a faulted question because of a number of things. And I know that I'm not making fun of you when I do this, because I know that you were making fun of them. Oh, the league is different now; it's a passing league, and what I just said. Well, the Bills are kind of coming back to, as are the good teams. Mahomes and a lot of the good teams are coming back to more of a balanced offensive attack. The Bills were prolific. They were a prolific passing team back then. Which is interesting to me. I also feel like it's a broken question because Josh has only played 6.5 years. And I think that's where, for me, it gets a little bit fumbled, because I want to say yes, but I don't feel like I've got his complete body of work yet. And that's not a slam on Josh Allen. I'm excited to see where he ends up. I think when it's all said and done, he is the greatest Buffalo Bill to ever put on that jersey. I just want to see can we not talk about it? I think that's where I'm at. It's like the MVP. I don't want to talk about Josh being the MVP, win a Super Bowl. If the MVP happens, great. I don't want to talk about Josh, who's the best Buffalo Bill of all time. All the best Buffalo Bill conversation of all time. And I know that, who was it? Was it Kay that asked Andre that? It was Kay, right?
No,
all that does.
It was a Bill show, actually.
Was it a Bill show? Gotcha. All that does, I thought Kay did too. All that does is distract us from the point, which is the point is to win a Super Bowl, which you always talk about. Like just win a Super Bowl. Like the Super Bowl answers every question we have. And I feel like I'm so excited to see the rest of his career. To which you have heard me say 1,000 times, and so have the listeners on this show. Like, don't miss a moment. Enjoy every fumble, enjoy every interception, enjoy every loss, enjoy every win, every pass, every touchdown, every run, because it's going to be over quick. Like, we've already gone through 6.5 years. How many has he got left? 6.5? Think about how fast the last 6.5 went. How many more has he got? let's just enjoy it. And then when we run his 17 into the rafters and nobody will ever wear it again, he'll undoubtedly known as being better than Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Bruce Smith, Andre Reed, OJ Simpson. Like, for the old guys, Cookie Gilchrist, because you always get that guy, right? Cookie Gilchrist was the best running back Buffalo ever had. It's like, well, I don't remember Cookie Gilchrist, but thanks. Like, that's my uncle. My uncle always did. You never saw Cookie Gilchrist play. You're right. I didn't. I also didn't see the AFL champions or championships.
That one.
So, but I don't know where to fall on it, right?
I mean, I get it, and I get where you're coming from. I just think when people bring it up, because that's why we brought it up today, because it was brought up so much.
Yeah.
So, like, when people bring it up, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, I'll answer the question. If I'm gonna sit here and like really be thinking, I don't think about who's the better quarterback, because all I care about is what we're talking about. Let's win a championship at some point. Like, let's do the things that have never been done. I don't care about like we can compare later. I'm answering it for the sake of the topic, but like, if we're gonna compare, like, let's compare right now. Like, nobody in Buffalo has won a Super Bowl. So to me, like, I want one. Like, give me. I'm waiting for the Jordan to Chicago to come here. Like, not necessarily the greatest of all time, but I mean, like, the guy that said, I want to make Chicago a respectable franchise and I want to win championships for them.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Let's get it.
I don't know how. I mean, I don't know how to not answer the question with yes, he's the greatest Bill to ever play, but it's just not a place that I want to. I don't want to live in that space, and that's where I found myself in the truck when I was thinking about it. I was just like, I don't know that this is where I want to live. I want to live in the moment, right? Like, let's talk about that accolade when it's over. Let's talk about it when it's over, and he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and we're all in tears as he's talking about like the great times and how awesome Bill's Mafia was and all the things that he, just like Jim did, right?
That's what social media and this podcast generation is doing. Like, the thing is, like, everything has to be a take, everything has to be a comparison, everything has to be a either or. So it can't be just like, you know what? Because I even get myself in the middle of conversations where I'm trying to defend other quarterbacks. Is like, dude, these are your quarterbacks. Like, I'm sitting here saying, yes, I love Josh, but dude, Lamar is absolutely freaking insane. We don't have to. And one thing that I have learned, and I think I've said this to you plenty of times now, I regret not watching Tom Brady as much as I probably should have, because I hated him. I hated the Patriots. So it's like, I'm not watching that crap. Unless it was the Bills or unless it was a division game or a huge game, it's like I wasn't going to look for Patriots games. I regret it, because it's like, so now I find myself enjoying watching the Chiefs when they're not playing the Bills.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching, and I'm sitting here defending other guys, and it's like, what am I doing? Like, but this is the day that we live in, where everything has to be. And look, we got the podcasts, we do the Twitter and the TikToks and all that. So we come with the hot takes, and we know the formula. Yeah. But like, it's like, okay, can we just win a championship?
I'm smiling because of, I don't want to watch that crap, right? Tom Brady. The only Super Bowl in my life that I did not watch was the Patriots Falcons Super Bowl. I was in Mexico at the time and on vacation, and Beth was like, they're showing the game at the the big hall where the buffets are. She's like, are you gonna go? I'm like, hell no, I'm not watching that Super Bowl. Like, what are you doing that? Like, no, I'm not watching another one. Are you crazy? And I think I was online and found out they were losing by 28 points, and I was like, oh, that's amazing. And then I think we went to bed, and I woke up the next morning and then found out that they came back. I was like, glad I didn't watch it. Like, and I don't regret not watching that Super Bowl. That's the old, like, so I'm right there with you 100%. As you look at just this team, and we've talked already a lot about Josh Allen. We've talked about a lot of the players on this team, and we've talked about the balance between the run and the pass, and we've talked about how good Terrell Bernard is, and we still have the awards to get to, which we'll get to here in a second, the bye week awards. Just a simple question: is this potentially the best, like the most balanced roster that Brandon Beane has put together? And I think I would add was it intentional? Did he know? Because I'm not sure he did, because he went into this season thinking he didn't need a number one wide receiver, and then made a point to go get Amari Cooper. But I guess the question is this the most balanced roster that that Brandon Beane has ever assembled?
I mean, to answer your question through 11 games, obviously, I'm going to say yes, but based on the record,
it's gotta be.
But to your point, no, he didn't do it on purpose. Like he was literally telling us, like he was preparing fans. Hey, we might not, he didn't say these words, but this is like that GM talk. We might not be as good this year. He called it a transition, and he was saying, oh, we're gonna, and everybody eats. And so like they were selling this thing like, look, we're gonna try to spread the ball around. We're gonna try to, but stick with us, Bills fans. We're gonna bounce back. And I think when you start the season with the record that you started with, and you recognize that, like, look, my offense needs a wide receiver. Sarah says, I think they are working the best together as a team, and I agree with her 100%.
I want to piggyback off that when you're done. Finish your statement. I want to piggyback off that.
Well, go ahead, because I mean, basically that sums up really where I was going with it.
So man. It goes back to All Bro Poe, claiming the full stop comment, right? As far as like this, Jordan is now on a team with the best roster he's ever been on, like the best players around him, which is still is bunk, right? But when you stack up this team versus any team 2020 to 2023, those 4 years, the talent level on those teams, those 4 years, aside from probably the offensive line as a unit and parts of the defensive line, meaning they had all those rotational guys and they would always bring in rotational. Tim Settle is a perfect example. Last year, we brought in Tim Settle on a 1-year deal coming out of Washington. He's wildly excited to be here. And Poona Ford, like these guys that come in and and they do nothing. And then Tim Settle and Poona Ford go to 2 different teams this season, and they're all over the stat sheet, like making huge plays for the Texans. And where's Poona? Is he in LA now or something like that? It's just bizarre to me, but I don't feel like if you stacked this roster up with any of those 4 years that you're saying that this roster is better. But to Sarah's point, they're playing more like a team. They're playing better together than any of those other 4 teams did, which is odd because they played well together those 4 years. It's interesting.
I think the biggest takeaway for me every time I talk to anybody that's either in the locker room or around the locker room is that I feel like this time, because you're right, the old teams played at a high level, but I think there's an overall family vibe again. Like there's a college team feel or a high school team feel about this team where guys enjoy being around each other. They enjoy hanging out. They enjoy joking with each other. So I think, and I'm not taking jabs at anybody, but I mean, like if you are, just as well as anybody, like it really wasn't that last year. So, I think having fun again probably does a lot for a guy like Josh Allen.
And how much,
because when you're really good at something, and like when you're not enjoying it and you're going out there and work, and I'm not saying Josh didn't enjoy, I'm not putting words in his mouth, so please anybody, I'm more so speaking to the vibe that was in the locker room.
He has all but said it in his pressers.
So well, I'm just saying, but to that point, like you're not enjoying it the way you used to enjoy it. Now you come to work and dude, you got to pep in your step again. Like you feel like lifting weights on weight day. You want to go in there and watch, you know what I mean? Like you feel like it. And like when you have that type of energy coming into the season now, you see what that does for them. So to me, I just think when people talk about culture and some people try to say how it's like it's a non-factor.
Oh yeah.
You can't ignore it when you look at a team like this.
The culture piece also speaks to the maturity of Sean McDermott as a head coach. I'm not going there on you. I'm just saying, like, there's a great deal of, and it's come up a lot in the last couple of weeks on this network, just the relaxed feel that he has with his coordinators that I don't think he's ever had before, whether you want to call it trust or whatever else. But I think some of this comes back to Sean. Daryl says the Dolphins are a bit like the Jets. A great collection of names, but maybe not a great team. The Bills are the exact opposite than them. That is absolutely true. And that comes back to all the teams that have ever been that somebody's attempted to buy a championship with. Think about back to the Redskins back in the 2000s that would always like try to buy a team and put a team together. I think the Eagles tried it once. It just doesn't work, right? There's something different about being a team and kind of coming together. Let's do this. Let's move on because this is a fun conversation, by the way. Yeah. Not that we don't always have fun conversations, but we're having a really fun conversation. And I hate to steer away from it, but I titled the show the Bye Week Awards. So we probably need to to spend a couple minutes on it, but go ahead.
Well, it's all good. They're gonna get a little extra because next week's the holiday, so it's okay.
Right.
Like,
That's
we
right.
got
Yeah. There will be no show for those of you that are listening. Wednesday, the Thanksgiving Eve, which is not a true holiday, but for us it will be.
yeah.
We will not be live next week. So yes. But so what we want to do is we want to go through what we would call our bye-week awards. So it's week 11, so it's not the mid-season awards, bye-week awards, and effectively we're going to go through a couple different award categories that we have selected together. And the first one is full team, your surprise player. So I'm going to let you go first on this one. Surprise player. Who's your surprise player on this football team right now, and why?
Well, I'm gonna take a different angle than you're probably going to take. So my surprise player is gonna be Dalton Kincaid. And I
Oh,
know this Sunday he was injured, and I know he was injured in the third quarter or second quarter, and then he tried out in the third, and then left out again. The thing is, he's been very underwhelming for
yeah,
me
I
throughout the season.
agree. I
And
agree, and it's affected Dawson Knox so much so that Dawson Knox looked like Dawson Knox last week.
he looked amazing. It was like, oh shoot, we got Dawson Knox on this team. It was awesome. So, but the
Yes.
thing is, you have these expectations of Kincaid. Like before the season, I think everybody, me, you, Bruce, Greg, all those guys at Cover One, Sal Capaccio, like everybody, Matt Perino, everybody's like, man, Kincaid is the guy. If you're gonna draft somebody in fantasy at tight end,
Yeah.
Kincaid is the guy just based on receptions alone.
Yeah.
Now it's like, where is he? He just hasn't been, and I'm not talking about the injuries. So right now, fine, but he hasn't been the guy. So there's some good ones in the comments, but yeah, for me right now, it's I'm going with Kincaid in a more on a negative way. He's a shocker to me, and I really need him
No,
to, when he comes
that
back,
qualifies.
and step it up.
That qualifies, and this is a tough category because as much as Connor McGovern is being spoken of in the comments section, Sarah says Mac Hollins, Tiffany Jordan says DeMar Hamlin. You could go a lot of places. Dorian Williams, I believe, is leading this team in tackles, right? James Cook is running. As much as he was good last year, he's been great this year. There's a lot of places that you could potentially go with this category. And I think for me, the biggest surprise is probably Taylor Rapp. From a safety standpoint, losing those two guys that we lost and somebody being out there to kind of fit in, he's changed his game. He's no longer going full on disaster mode when he gets near a player, right? He's trying to stay healthy. He has been healthy. I just feel like there's as much as DeMar has made some mistakes at times, I just feel like he has done a very, very good job. Codrington, you could say Codrington. I didn't even know the Buffalo Bills traded a 7th-round pick for Codrington out from the Jets and for a kick returner. And it's like rookie guy. It's like, who's this kid? And I don't think he returned a kick in preseason, did he? Did he return a kick?
I don't think he did, but it was worth it. That dude's a stud.
Right.
That dude is a stud.
They go a lot of places, but
yeah. No, worth it.
Yeah.
Worth
it.
Yeah,
so I'm going to go Taylor Rapp. I feel like Taylor Rapp I was very worried about the safety position. Still a little worried, but Taylor Rapp has done enough that I'm not sure Micah Hyde is needed. So how's that? I think that's what solidifies it for me from a surprise standpoint.
I agree. They're listen, the secondary cornerbacks and safeties. Sean McDermott is doing Sean McDermott things, and his defense seems to make secondary players like the best version of themselves every time they end up spending any amount of real time in his system. So I love it. I love it.
So most improved player, and I guess I would probably go next on most improved. And for me, the most improved player is going to be on the offensive line, and it's going to be Spencer Brown for me. Spencer Brown, for what he is, and I know they gave him the big extension this past offseason, and I know there's an expectation for him to be there, but he has had his moments where his game hasn't been fully solidified and underneath him. And I just feel like this year he's just locked it in. He has just become that dude on the right side, which has been great. And obviously Aaron Cromer's a big part of that, but for me, the most improved player that I've got is Spencer Brown.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna say James Cook, man. I know he's a big part of the offense, so he's a star, so it's probably not one that you would think of. But the thing is, when you look at his impact on the game, the run game looks different than it looked last year. We had a decent run game last year, but this year we have a run game that's like a big boy run game and will punch you in the mouth. And James Cook is doing a phenomenal job at like blossoming into the type of player that can help take the load off of Josh Allen's shoulders. And that's one of the things that I've loved about that run game this season. It's not Josh doing it. Like even the 20-yard run for the touchdown was a shocker because Josh hasn't been doing that this season. So, for that to even be the thing. So no, I think this run game, if I had to go for a lesser, somebody who's not so much of a star, I think I'm really agreeing with you, man. Like I think what we're seeing out of the entire offensive line, man, like I think we have the best offensive line of football right now. And then this past week, Spencer didn't even play.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. The next award that we have is the and you're going to go first on this one, is the Unsung Hero. Who's your unsung hero for this team?
My dog Cam Lewis, man. Cam Lewis.
I put you're not on Twitter anymore, but I put a post out a couple days ago or yesterday that we need to put some love on Cam Lewis. But yes, I'm right there with you. Go ahead.
We need to, and matter of fact, not only do we need to put love on Cam Lewis, do y'all remember 2 seasons ago against the Vikings, against Justin Jefferson and that catch, and he stood there at the locker and he took those difficult questions after the game and he went on Twitter and he watched everybody dog him, and this dude stuck around, he worked his ass off, and look at him now, man. He's balling this year. I'm gonna just tell you, we got to give Cam Lewis some love. I know, like you just said, I'm not on Twitter, so I can't do the whole Cam Lewis for whatever or we riot deal. But listen, he needs some love. Like, I mean, for real, y'all just got to think about the journey that this dude has been on. He's been a special teams player. They drafted him to do some different things, and he kind of undrafted. Right. They picked him. I'm sorry, undrafted. They picked him up to do some, and he kind of just stuck. He stuck around, and look, give my dog Cam some love.
Yeah, both on special teams and on defense. He was full out. I mean, he almost sealed the game before Terrell Bernard did on Sunday. He has been playing well. We talked a little bit just so the crowd knows. And when we both were like Cam Lewis is the guy, and I was like, oh, I'll pick somebody else. And it's not hard to pick somebody else because I feel like another guy that's been the unsung hero that's on the opposite side of the ball is Khalil Shakir.
Absolutely.
Khalil Shakir, when you look at his career arch, and I know this is his 3rd season, 10 receptions as a rookie, obviously increased role last year, and this year he doesn't drop, and I don't want to jinx the kid. I wish I had wood around me to knock. I mean, he doesn't drop the football. He's always open. Thank you. He's always open, and when he catches the football, he's literally, you can almost see him set up like the defenders that are trying to tackle him to get her, and he's cutting back into the inside of the field, which is someplace that big wide receivers don't want to go. They don't want to cut back into the middle of the field because they're going to get blown up either from the backside or blown up from the side. But in a sense of keeping the offense going, which he did in that game on Sunday, that final game-winning drive, he had that big 3rd and 9-yard reception, right? To me, this offense doesn't look the way that it looks right now without Khalil Shakir, and I don't know that he is either getting the love that he needs to be getting on this football team. So Khalil Shakir for me.
I agree with you. Before you move to the next one, I just want to say, like, I agree 100% with that. The thing is, I think when Khalil Shakir isn't there, we miss him more than we miss Keon or
agreed. 100%.
Whoever being out. And that's not a slight to anybody else, but I think Josh trusts Khalil in a way that he doesn't trust. I don't think he's trusted anybody like this. Like, even he forced it to Diggs, but I think like with Khalil, he just has like this confidence.
There's a Beasley feel there early on.
It's very Beasley like, where it's like, and I don't know. I'm all in on this Josh to Shakir thing. I think extend this dude like as soon as possible. Keep this dude around. Like, group 2, both of them.
At what number? Right. So wide receivers. That's a tough one.
Do it now because he's getting better. He hasn't put up the 1,200-yard season. You know what I mean? He hasn't given us that. It's coming. Like, next year probably is going to be that year where he going, like, every week he's going to get a couple player of the weeks, offensive player of the weeks, all that stuff. Get him now. Lock him in where you could get him on the cheap, get him a discount. Because if you do it next year, man,
This comes back to Tre'Davious White. It comes back to Josh Allen. It comes back to like other players like Christian Benford is now becoming that guy. He will never be cheaper than he is right now. No. He's the cheapest he's going to be is right now.
And group two,
two more awards for you, and we'll try to hurry these up. Needs improvement. It's my turn to go first. For me, needs improvement, and clearly I'm a little bit swayed because I get influence from the other two members of this network, John Fina and Jerry Ostrowski. My guy that needs improvement is David Edwards, and as much as David Edwards has done a good job being the left tackle, he and this offensive line as a cohesive unit is good, and to your point, maybe one of the best in the league. There are times and moments in games where he has a tendency to struggle, and I feel like that he could be better, right? So and it's hard because now we're in the nitpick mold, right? Now we're nitpicking down to stuff. But for me, David Edwards is probably that guy for me as far as needs improvement. If we could just get him to play just a little bit better, I feel like this offense could be that much better.
I think I know where I'm going.
Yes, that's why I went with David Edwards.
Man, what are we gonna do with Tyler Bass at this point, man? Like, we're missing extra points. I get it. Like, he made the 61 to win a game, and we all were like, maybe this is the turning point.
Right.
It's not. Like, this is gonna be. We have this phenomenal balanced team that we've talked about. We got the guy on special teams running it back on punts and kickoffs. We got good offensive line play, great running game. We go with Josh. We got a balanced wide receiver core, and the secondary's playing great. And Matt Milano's coming back soon. And we're gonna lose the game by a damn field goal
or a missed extra point. Like, how do you miss that extra point?
Joe. Now, Justin Tucker ain't Justin Tucker no more. If you look around the league, a lot of guys are like this year is a weird year. A lot of kickers are really not doing well. But man, I don't care what they doing next door. You know what I mean? Like, at this house, you make field goals.
But Harrison Butker goes down with a meniscus injury, and the Chiefs go pull some guy off somebody else's scrap heap, and he makes every extra point and every field goal.
Extra point.
Like, it's just, and that always comes back. And Bill's Mafia loves that, like that comeback. Well, who are you gonna get, right? So no matter what you're talking about, when you're talking about like who are you gonna get, who are you gonna go get, like what are you gonna do?
Dude, there's kickers.
The Chiefs went and got a guy.
There's kickers out there right now, dude.
I mean, it's funny because like one of those guys that sticks out to me is like I believe it was Dustin Hopkins. People don't remember this, but Dustin Hopkins was a Buffalo Bill, and he was horrendous. He was terrible. Awful.
And then he goes
him. They cut him. I think they cut him mid-season.
and then he goes and he's a beast. It's like, where was this guy at?
Yes, right. So I mean, obviously he's at the end of his career now, but there was a time in the NFL where Dustin Hopkins was a very, very reliable kicker. But anyway, last award, bye-week award, and it's great to see the comment sections. This is a good topic because I can see the comment sections rolling in my peripheral, which is great. The team MVP, right? So, and I think what we're gonna do, and it's probably consensus between us as well as everybody else. We're gonna pick a team MVP for the offense and a team MVP for the defense. But by the way, honorable mention we could have done Sam Martin, specifically after the year he had last year. Like, we could have done an honorable mention, and Sam Martin probably could have gotten like an honorable mention award because that dude has been good this year, like really, really good. But anyway, I'm gonna let you go first on the MVP, and I'll take the opposite of whatever you say.
Well, I agree about Sam Martin too. I think he's healthy. I think he's healthy. He's playing well. But I'm going Bernard. I'll start with defense. Everybody knows who it is on offense. We know who it is for the league. Yep, Sarah got it right on the head. We're gonna go with Josh and Bernard. Like, it's just both of those guys are doing. And I know you mentioned earlier, like, my love for Tremaine.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with my love for Bernard. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Bernard is out here. He doing it, and that dude. I thought that we were losing with the other guys leaving. Like, Bernard is really out there, and he's incredible to watch. It's fun to watch him. He's everywhere. He's a menace. Like, MVP.
Bernard is definitely right there for MVP of this team, and it co-captains, right? Co-MVPs. The way that Tremaine Edmonds is playing well in Chicago. And I want to say it feels like when you see what Sean McDermott is and Brandon Beane are doing on this defense specifically, there's a mold of what they want. 6'2", 240 pounds, fast. Like there's a mold of what they want. Dorian Williams, Terrell Bernard, Joe Andreessen fits that mold. Like all the guys that they have and that they want kind of fit into this mold. Balin Spector, I think, fits into that mold. I feel like Tremaine just didn't fit inside of the defense that Sean was trying to build. I think he's a great player and a phenomenal player and has amazingly all-world talent. I think Bernard just fits the defense better as far as that goes. But yes, he's playing lights out. It's absolutely incredible. And then obviously on the other side, I mean, Josh Allen is that dude. And we've talked a lot about Josh Allen already in this episode, so it kind of doesn't really need to be talked about anymore. But I don't know of a world where Josh Allen isn't the MVP of the NFL every season, because this team, if we're talking about Mitch Trubisky playing 10 games on this team, they're not going to the playoffs ever, right? I mean, if we're being honest. So I mean, Josh Allen is the team. He is the team. So final thoughts?
Hey man, since there's no show next week, I hope you have a great holiday. You know what I mean? Like I hope you are you traveling at all, or are you staying?
No, we'll be in Buffalo.
Okay. Well, I hope you have a great holiday. And
what about you? Are you going anywhere?
No, my mom and dad are coming out. They're going to come kick it with me. And, and then my cousin will be here. We're actually going to see Usher Sunday night. So it's actually great that there's no Bills game. So yeah, just going to see family this week, and it's going to be a good time. So, I hope everybody in the comments have a great holiday, and I hope that everybody gets to spend some time with your loved ones, eat some turkey.
Yeah,
you're a turkey guy, right? Like I know some
you got to cook
it
right. You got to cook it right. Yes, I'm a turkey guy. So if you can't smoke it, deep fry it, and if you can't deep fry it, smoke it. Like you can make turkey that's juicy for days, like even after it's in the fridge. Like we already cooked 2. I'll probably cook 2 more sometime this weekend, and then yes, we'll cook a couple for Thanksgiving, and then I'll cook a couple more after that. Like my daughters beg me to cook smoked turkeys because they're so good. Yeah. Like we'll just sit there and pick it right out of the dish, like the Tupperware, just go to town on it. And then Addison gets mad when it's all gone. Where do we eat all the turkey? And Beth is like, your dad did. She gets mad at me for it.
You snooze, you lose.
Yeah, and it's addictive. So yeah, but same to you. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And I know that we're a little bit early on that, and to everybody in the chat. So the Hump Day Hotline viewers that aren't necessarily here for maybe all of our content, happy Thanksgiving if I don't get to talk to you guys. But yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy this weekend. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the family time, and be thankful for everything that we have in this country, and the fact that we are able to fill our bellies, because there's a lot of people that won't be able to. But yeah, with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for tuning into the Hump Day Hotline on the Overreaction Sports Network, powered by Believe. My name is Joe. Yeah.
Real quick, I'm sorry, Rich. There is no chop up tonight. I'm sorry to cut you off there, Joe. I just wanted to address that so that nobody was looking.
Nope, perfect. That actually, yes, thank you for doing that. Yeah, for me, for Jay Spence the King, for John, for Jerry, for all of us here at Overreaction, we appreciate you guys. We love you. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.